Millionaire footballers behind bars. These so-called heroes went from lifting trophies to facing judges, swapping roaring stadiums for prison walls. We're talking high-profile arrests, jaw-dropping scandals, and careers destroyed by reckless, illegal choices. Some were rising stars with everything ahead of them. Others were seasoned pros who let their dark sides take over. But one thing's for sure, the beautiful game has a dirty secret, and the football world has tried to keep it buried for years. Well, not anymore. Today, we're exposing the shocking truth behind the players who crossed the line, stories that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about your favorite sport. This isn't just controversy. This is the fall of football's most dangerous men. Let's start with a case that stunned the entire nation. Number 1. Adam Johnson. Once a rising star for England, Johnson's fall from grace was fast and irreversible. Earning £60,000 a week at Sunderland, he threw away a promising career for actions that were both inappropriate and illegal. His downfall began in 2015 when he was arrested following an investigation involving a teenage fan. At first, he denied any wrongdoing, but just before the trial, he changed his plea, admitting to serious charges that shocked teammates, fans, and the wider public. The court revealed a troubling pattern of behavior, including hundreds of messages and multiple meetings that crossed the line in every way. What his defense tried to minimize, the evidence made undeniable. Johnson was sentenced to 6 years in prison and served half before being released. His club cut ties immediately, and no professional team has touched him since. His $2 million mansion was sold, his career collapsed, and his reputation never recovered. Sometimes the consequences come quicker than a sliding tackle, and if you thought that was shocking, just wait. This next case split the entire country right down the middle. At number 2, Ched Evans. Ched Evans' case divided public opinion like a chaotic VAR decision. The Welsh striker was convicted in 2012 over serious allegations, sentenced to 5 years in prison, and served half before being released. But it was what happened after his release that truly ignited national debate. When Sheffield United offered him a chance to return to training, the backlash was instant. Staff received threats, sponsors pulled out, and fans organized protests. Oldham Athletic faced similar pressure. The message was loud and clear: not every player gets a second chance. Evans always maintained his innocence and eventually won a retrial in 2016 after new evidence came to light. This time, the verdict was not guilty, but by then, the damage had been done. His once promising Premier League career had been derailed, and his name was forever linked to controversy. He later signed with Chesterfield and then moved to Fleetwood Town, slowly rebuilding his football life from the ground up. Even with a legal victory, the court of public opinion wasn't so forgiving. Evans' story raises big questions about justice, redemption, and whether society allows people to truly move on. Speaking of social media consequences, meet the midfielder who collected criminal charges like trophies. At number 3, Joey Barton. Joey Barton collected criminal charges like yellow cards, frequently and with little regard for consequences. The midfielder's rap sheet reads like a textbook on how not to behave as a professional athlete, featuring assault, criminal damage, and enough courtroom appearances to qualify for frequent visitor status. His most notorious incident occurred in 2008 when he attacked teammate Ousmane Dabo during Manchester City training. Barton's assault left Dabo hospitalized with facial injuries requiring surgery. The attack was so vicious that it prompted a police investigation and criminal charges. Barton received a 4-month suspended sentence and community service. But Barton's legal troubles were just getting started. He was arrested for assault in Liverpool city centre, charged with criminal damage after a taxi dispute, and faced multiple other allegations throughout his career. His behavior pattern suggested someone incapable of learning from consequences. The betting scandal in 2017 finally ended his playing career. Barton was banned for 18 months after placing over 1,260 bets on football matches while playing and managing. The FA investigation revealed systematic rule-breaking that showed complete disregard for football's integrity. His excuse? Everyone does it. Not everyone gets caught, Joey. Barton's story demonstrates how talent without discipline becomes wasted potential. Multiple clubs took chances on him despite his history, hoping his ability would outweigh his baggage. It rarely did. But Joey's troubles pale in comparison to this rising star whose world collapsed overnight. At number 4, Mason Greenwood. Mason Greenwood's story is one of football's most dramatic downfalls, a rising star whose career was abruptly halted by serious allegations. In early 2022, the Manchester United forward was arrested following claims involving assault and threatening behavior. The news stunned fans and rocked the football world. Social media played a massive role, with disturbing audio and images surfacing online. These quickly went viral, prompting swift action from both authorities and Manchester United. The club suspended Greenwood immediately and distanced itself from him across all platforms. The situation highlighted how, in the digital age, public perception can shift in a matter of hours. Long before any court decision, millions had already formed their opinions. In February 2023, all charges against Greenwood were dropped due to key witnesses withdrawing and new evidence coming to light. But by then, the damage to his reputation was done. United decided not to reintegrate him into the squad, and he eventually moved abroad to continue his career. Greenwood's case remains a cautionary tale, one that shows how quickly things can spiral out of control, especially under the spotlight of fame and social media. At number 5, repeat offender. Marlon King proved that some people never learn, accumulating criminal convictions like a frequent flyer collecting air miles. The striker's career was repeatedly interrupted by legal troubles, culminating in multiple prison sentences that effectively ended his professional football aspirations. King's first major conviction came in 2002 for handling stolen goods, specifically a BMW and mobile phone.
Striker Marlon King is tonight starting an 18-month jail sentence after being found guilty of handling a stolen car.
Rather than serving as a wake-up call, this seemed to encourage further criminal behavior. He was later convicted of sexual assault and sentenced to 18 months in prison, serving 9 months before release. His most serious offense occurred in 2010 when he sexually assaulted a young woman in a London nightclub. The attack happened just hours after King had played for Birmingham City, showing his complete disregard for professional responsibilities. Security footage captured the assault, making conviction inevitable. King received 18 months in prison, was released after serving half, then immediately reoffended. Within weeks of release, he was arrested for dangerous driving and failing to provide a specimen.
A former Premier League footballer has been jailed for 18 months for dangerous driving after a crash which left a motorist with a broken arm.
The pattern was clear. Prison taught him nothing about consequences or behavior modification. Birmingham City terminated his contract while he was serving time. His career effectively ended at 31, not due to injury or declining ability, but because no club would risk the liability of employing him. King's story serves as the ultimate cautionary tale about how off-field behavior can destroy on-field success. However, the most tragic case involves a footballer whose crime created real victims. At number 6, Lee Hughes. Lee Hughes' case stands apart because his crime resulted in genuine tragedy. The striker's hit-and-run incident in 2003 killed a father of 4 and seriously injured another person, making it one of football's most serious criminal cases with real victims and devastating consequences. Hughes was driving home from a night out when he crashed his Mercedes into another car. Instead of helping the victims, he fled the scene and went into hiding for several days. His cowardly response turned a terrible accident into a criminal act that warranted serious punishment. The court heard how Hughes had been drinking before driving, though he wasn't legally drunk. His decision to flee showed callous disregard for the victims, according to prosecutors. The judge sentenced him to 6 years in prison, noting that his actions after the crash were more serious than the crash itself. Hughes served 3 years before release, during which time his career collapsed entirely. West Bromwich Albion terminated his contract, and he struggled to find new clubs upon release. The football community largely ostracized him, understanding that some mistakes transcend sport entirely. His eventual return to lower league football sparked controversy wherever he played. Families of victims organized protests, sponsors withdrew support, and fans stayed away. Hughes learned that public forgiveness comes harder when real families suffer permanent loss due to your actions. These stories prove that talent can't protect you from consequences. Sometimes the biggest opponents are the ones you create yourself. Hit that like button if this opened your eyes, and subscribe for more shocking football stories.